Good morning, children. Under the chemical properties of nonmetals, today I will teach you electronegative character of nonmetals, then reaction of nonmetals with oxygen, and finally reaction of nonmetals with water and acid. The first chemical properties of nonmetal is their electronegative character. Children, if you see the non-metal atoms electronic configuration, for example, fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine, etc., you can see all these non-metals. They have either 7 for fluorine, 6 for oxygen, 5 for nitrogen, 7 for chlorine. That means they have 5, 6 or 7 electrons in their valence shell or in outermost shell, and hence it is easy for them to gain either 1, 2 or 3 electrons to get the nearest inert gas electronic configuration. For example, fluorine with the gain of 1 electron, it forms F minus fluoride ion, and the electronic configuration of fluoride is 2,8, which is the electronic configuration of neon. Likewise, oxygen with the gain of 2 electrons, it acquired the 2,8 electronic configuration. Again, it is the electronic configuration of nearest inert gas, that is neon. And the ion thus formed, that is known as oxide ion. Nitrogen, as it has a 2,5 electronic configuration, 5 valence electron, it needed 3 more electrons, and with the gain of these 3 electrons, it formed N3 minus ion known as nitride ion. Finally, chlorine has 7 electrons in its valence shell. With the gain of 1 electron, it acquired the 288 argon configuration, and the ion thus formed, that is known as chloride ion. So we can say non-metal atoms can gain 1 or more electrons to form negatively charged ions called anions. Whereas if you recall the metal atoms are electropositive in character, because if you see the electronic configuration of metal atoms, for example sodium, calcium, aluminium, you can see they have either 1, 2 or 3 electrons in their valence shell. So it is easy for them to lose electron to form positively charged ion. Now again, when we say positive charge, because there is a lack of electron, negative charge, there is a excess of electrons. Okay, that is the basic difference between the metal atoms and non-metal atoms. Metal atoms form positively charged ion known as cation. Non-metal atoms form negatively charged ion called anion. Reaction of non-metals with oxygen. Children, non-metals react with oxygen to form non-metallic oxides which are acidic in nature. At the same time, you note down, few non-metallic oxides are neutral in nature. Let us recall about the nature of metallic oxides. You know, the metallic oxides, they are basic in nature. Metallic oxides are basic in nature, and few non-metallic oxides, they are amphoteric in nature, like zinc oxide and aluminum oxide. They are amphoteric, whereas potassium oxide is basic in nature. But most of the non-metallic oxides, they are acidic in nature, and few are neutral in nature. Let us discuss in detail. Carbon. Carbon on burning can form two types of oxide. That is, these two oxides are carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. The carbon dioxide form when the oxygen is excess, whereas when the lack of oxygen, it form carbon monoxide. Carbon dioxide form, that is acidic in nature, carbon monoxide neutral in nature. Again children, one more point too. Carbon monoxide It is highly poisonous gas, and because of its colorless and odorless, makes the carbon monoxide more dangerous gas. Whereas carbon dioxide, it is not dangerous, it is not poisonous, but it is responsible for the global warming. Now, nitrogen. Nitrogen, when burns in oxygen, can form five different types of oxides. But here I can teach you only the three different types of oxides formed by nitrogen. They are nitric oxide, NO, nitrous oxide, N2O, and nitrogen dioxide, NO2. The first two oxides, that is nitric oxide and nitrous oxide, these two oxides are neutral in nature, whereas nitrogen dioxide, it is acidic in nature. The two oxides formed by sulfur, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxides, both are acidic in nature, whereas phosphorus from phosphorus pentoxide P2O5 is acidic in nature. Now, to prove that non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature, when you pass sulfur dioxide gas through water and bring a blue litmus paper, and if the blue litmus turns to red, that shows that sulfur dioxide is acidic in nature. The same way, when you pass nitrogen dioxide gas through water and when the blue litmus turns from blue to red, that shows that nitrogen dioxide is acidic in nature. What is the reason for acidic nature of non-metallic oxides? Children, when non-metallic oxides such as sulfur dioxide, here sulfur trioxide, combine with water, it will form sulfuric acid. And because of this acid, we can say sulfur dioxide or trioxide acidic in nature. Likewise, carbon dioxide reacts with water to form carbonic acid, and carbonic acid is acidic in nature, and hence carbon dioxide is acidic in nature. So all the non-metallic oxides, when dissolved in water, form corresponding acid, and because of this acid formation, we can say non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Now, next we can say non-metallic oxides, they react with base to form salt and water. For example, when you pass carbon dioxide gas through sodium hydroxide, and you know very well sodium hydroxide is a base, the salt form will be sodium carbonate along with the formation of water. Likewise, sulfur trioxide. When you pass sulfur trioxide gas through sodium hydroxide, the corresponding salt form, that is known as sodium sulfate and water. So, by these two, we can say the non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature because acid reacts with base to form salt and water. So, here non-metallic oxide has acidic character. Reaction of non-metals with water and acids. Children, note down, non-metals do not react with water, either cold water, boiling water or steam, and with dilute acids to evolve hydrogen gas. What is the reason for this? Let me explain. As you know, water, it is made up of H plus and OH minus ion. And at the same time, all the acids, they are made up of H plus and X minus ion, and in their aqueous solution, they dissociate to produce H plus ion in the aqueous solution and X minus ion in the aqueous solution. And the H plus ion thus form, they are known as hydrogen ions. Okay. Now, in order to release hydrogen gas during the reaction, what is required? The hydrogen ions formed during the process must be get reduced by electron to hydrogen atom. Okay. So the hydrogen ion gain an electron and turns to hydrogen atoms. And this process we can call here as a reduction process. That means reduction of hydrogen must take place. And when two hydrogen atoms thus form, combine, they produce hydrogen gas. So in overall, we can say that reduction of hydrogen ion to hydrogen atom is the important condition for the formation of hydrogen gas. Now, what we have learned, non-metals are electron acceptor. That means they gain electron to form negatively charged particles. And hence, non-metals cannot give electrons to reduce the hydrogen ions of water and acids to release hydrogen gas. And hence, we can say non-metals do not react with water and acid to produce hydrogen gas. That's all. I suppose all of you understood this one very well. Now, let us discuss some questions. Now, let us discuss few questions. Question number 1. Pratyush took sulfur powder on a spatula and heated it. He collected the gas evolved by inverting a test tube over the burning sulfur. A. What will be action of this gas on dry litmus paper? B. Moist litmus paper. Now, second part of the question. Write the balanced chemical equation for the reaction taking place. Question number 2. Give reason for the following. Metals replace hydrogen from dilute acids, whereas non-metals do not. Children, I suppose after watching the video carefully, you will be in the position to write answer for both of the given questions. Please do so during our doubt clearing class or on every Saturday. I can discuss the questions if you find any doubts for writing these answers. Okay. Now take care. Be safe at home. Thank you.